Alright guys, welcome back to more Ignorant in Basketball. Now I haven't made a video in about 5 days, and the NBA is changing like a bitch, and I'm a little bit amped up right now. I don't even know what this video is going to be about. I'm just going to rant, and then we're going to figure it out at the end. First off, I got to say thank you for showing so much love on the last video. That is our best video up to date. And when I say us, I mean you and me. I don't have a team. I hope that's evident. I was thinking about making a video about the All-Star game or All-Star Day or whatever the fuck, but I was like, this shit was so whack, I didn't even know what to talk about. Steph Curry won the three-point. Who gives a fuck? Of course he is. He's going against who? Zach LaVine and Jaylen Brown? What the fuck? Those aren't shooters. They didn't even have any shooters except for him. Of course he's going to win. Shout out to Mike Conley. Bittersweet because our boy D-Book didn't play. But him and Chris Paul wouldn't have even been on the same team. And I don't think that's good for team chemistry. So he can sit and rest. You've been balling all season. Shout out to Mike Conley, though, because he's always a guy that's always going to be under the radar. Like, when he was more in his prime, I guess, he was always a guy who just barely didn't make it. So it's good to see that he finally got a fucking all-star appearance. I think that was a good thing for the league. But the all-star day, I am so used to saying weekend. I mean, it was cool for what it was. I think it was cool that they were able to like push everything into one day and it didn't feel weird. So shout out to them for that, but it was still whack. Like, you know what I mean? Like compared to the shit I've seen before, like the gun contest. The dunk contest was kind of a joke. The 3-point, like I already spoke on that. And then the game, you got your ass beat East. So I don't know, but it was cool. I would take it as a win for what they had to deal with. I mean, going into the season, none of us even thought we were going to get any sort of all-star anything. So shout out to them for making it work. But fuck all that, to be honest. Let's talk about the Nets. I recorded like a video about the Blake Griffin shit, like I think the day before it was official. And I don't know, I just didn't like it. But let's talk about it now. Now, I'm looking at every fucking team in the league. And Suns fans, I got to be honest, I don't like that we're not making any moves. Everybody's making moves. The Jazz signed Ilyasova. The Nets, obviously. The Lakers are about to get Drummond. The Warriors are trying to get Oladipo, apparently. The Celtics are making moves. The fucking Sixers are making moves. We are the only team that has any sort of championship aspirations that's not making moves. And I'm like, what are we doing? Now, this is positive and negative because, as you all know, adding a big piece to your team in the middle of the season can go really great or really shitty. Especially if you're making a trade. I mean, I think the Nets are doing it right because you're just adding minimum guys. You're not really losing anything. But it seems like the Warriors are ready to make a trade. Who gives a shit? They're not making the playoffs anyway. The Lakers, it depends on the trade that they make for Drummond. I think that's going to be a big help for them, unfortunately. I don't know if he's the shot blocker he used to be, but I'm pretty sure he's obviously better than fucking Marc Gasol and Harold. So this is my thing with that. It really just depends on who they give up for him because it seems like the Cavs aren't trying to give him up for nothing, and it seems like they're not trying to buy him out. From what little research I've done, that seems to be the case. But still, like, Suns fans, how do you feel about that? Cult members, how do you feel? Do you think we should be making moves? Like, this team has been great. They look really fucking good. Even Cameron Payne's picking it up. Cameron Johnson's actually hurt right now. Booker's day-to-day. I think he'll be back soon. You know, I'm not worried about that. But, like, as a team, the team is really starting to pick things up. Sarge has stepped up. Kaminsky stepped up. Crowder. I think Cameron Johnson's better coming off the bench. Like, the team looks good. Bridges is stepping up. But I just don't like that we're not making any moves. I really think the only two weaknesses, again, this team has, you don't really have an athletic four or like some size at the four. I guess you could say Kaminsky, but as far as defense goes, I think we all know that he is a straight ass. And then backup point guard Cameron Payne. Like, if we're talking ring season, if Cameron Payne's going to be balling like he did like last game, that'd be great. But can we count on that? I don't know. He's been really up and down. I'm looking at, like, the Clippers have, well, I don't know. Is Reggie Jackson their second coming off the bench? Is either first? I don't know what the fuck he is. But if we could get somebody like that, like that level who can come off the bench and average like high teens, I think that would be preferable. But again, when it comes to the playoffs, lineups are going to get tighter anyway, so I don't know how important that is because it seems like they're either going to have Booker or Chris Paul on at all times unless you're playing against a team that is straight ass, which, I mean, the West is pretty fucking stacked, so I don't even know if that's going to be a possibility, but we'll see. But how do you guys feel about the Blake Griffin shit? How do you guys feel about the Nets? This is my thing with the Nets. First off, I don't respect you. That's number one. I don't give a fuck. How can you expect me, a stranger, a Suns fan, to respect your team when your own state doesn't even like you? I've never met anyone from New York that fucks with the Nets. I've actually never met anybody that fucks with the Nets. I've never met a Nets fan in my life. Never, besides Jay-Z, who I've never met. I've seen people wear jerseys on TV, but as far as I know, this could all be special effects. It could all be Chinese propaganda. I don't know. I've never met one. Everybody from New York loves the fucking Knicks, ride or die. They had a goddamn riot in the streets because they fucking beat Detroit and were 500. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is this a cult? Are you guys trying to compete with mine? Fuck you. You're not as strong. You're not as strong. I don't give a shit. But this is my thing with the Nets for us Suns fans and really every other fucking team in the league too. Why I don't believe in you besides your shitty brand awareness. Everybody in that starting five, yes, the starting five is an all-star team from 2016. But guess what year it's not? 2016. It's 2021 in this hoe. So this is my thing. Everybody in the starting five is a ticking time bomb. That's number one. And I'll go into detail about that in a second. Number two, you guys don't play defense for shit. Sorry, but that's just what it is. And if you're going to play against any team that comes out the West, Suns or not, and you can't guard the three, you're going to get fucking destroyed. I mean, I know you got a lot of scores, but as far as a continuity thing, and defense brings rhythm, so if you're not playing defense, it's going to be hard to get into a really good offensive flow. I don't give a fuck how many scores you have on your team. And I'm hitting you with straight knowledge off the dome right now, and that's just how talented I am, and that's why I am a cult leader. And number three, continuity. If you're going to keep adding all these, like, vital pieces to your team late, I think it can fuck up things later in the season, and especially in the playoffs. Like when you play against, I think that's why teams like the Spurs could play so well, because they were so used to playing with each other and their system was run so well that even if they didn't have as much talent, they could still fuck you up. And that's how I feel like the Suns are starting to look. Now let's get into why I think every player on this team is a fucking time bomb. At least the starting five. Let's start with Kyrie. Number one, I love Kyrie. I know he says a lot of off-the-wall shit, like the earth is flat. What are you talking about? Like, do you need a fucking YouTube filter so you don't confuse yourself, like a child restriction or some shit? That being said, he's a great fucking player, probably has the best handles in the history of the league, can finish around the rim, below the rim at least, probably better than anybody in the history of the league. It's crazy that this guy just came in at like 18, 19 with the best handles ever. Like, what the fuck? It's not like Steph where he just like gradually got better and better, and then one year like, holy shit, this guy's got really good handles. It's like he came in as a fucking teenager better than anybody who ever played basketball ever. That's ridiculous. But you're not on the Suns, so it's fuck you energy. Respectfully, with love and peace, it's fuck you energy. But this is my thing. Extremely injury prone. I feel like him making it to the finals like is a 50-50 shot just because of his health. I don't mean the team, I mean like him individually. If they were going to make it to the finals and he played in every game, it's a 50-50 shot that this guy's going to be healthy. That's just, I feel like it's just kind of like that with a lot of players, but a lot of players on this team are very injury prone. And as, you know, so it's that, and then, you know, he's not a great defender. I think we all can agree on that. Here's my thing with James Harden. First, number one, he's pussy. So he's not injury prone like Kyrie is. He's one of the best offensive players in the league. I don't like that I'm going to grab your arm and make it look like you fouled me pussy shit, but that's just, he does that. It doesn't work in the playoffs, thank God, but he likes to do that shit. His only flaw is every time in the playoffs, it's goddamn choke season since he's been in the league. So you can blame that on a couple things. I don't know because I'm not him. So you could say, Like with the Rockets, there was just too much pressure on him, the system, the coaching, all that type of shit, and it was just too much, so you couldn't really be efficient. Or two, he is pussy. Or three, the Lil B curse is real. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a really good chance for us to find out, is James Harden a bitch or is he not? We'll see. Because if he fucks up this year and he's just ass again, fucking dribbling the ball off his foot like a dumbass, that's going to be on nobody but himself, because he's surrounded by the best players in the fucking league. And if you were going to win a championship, this would be the year. Like, let's be real. The Lakers look wounded. Nobody believed in the Suns. Shocker, I know. Clippers, I don't know if they really have their shit together. And in the East, doesn't really looking that strong. I mean, the Sixers, yeah, I guess, but with Embiid and his health, can you really count on them? We'll see. I don't know. And then the Bucks, they look like they've gotten worse, honestly. So this is their shot, and let's see if old James is going to dribble the ball off his foot again like a child. But moving on, we got KD. Again, doesn't really have any flaws as a basketball player, one of the best players in the history of the league, especially when it comes to scoring. Nobody can really stop him. He's 7 feet tall and has the fucking skills of a guard. It's annoying how good he is. Only thing with KD is, like Kyrie, he's fucking injury prone as all hell. I mean, he's not even healthy right now. How are you going to be the captain of a team when you're injured? Who let that happen? I don't know. But it seems like every other year this guy's out. So will he be healthy for the playoffs? TBD. That's really the only knock you can say on KD. Now, Blake Griffin. Got a lot to say about this guy. I don't think we're going to have like the Blake Griffin where he's all emotional and fucking annoying and shit. I feel like he's here to win a ring. He's going to keep his head down. He's going to try. He's going to play well. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, expectations are low. I mean, you saw his field goal percentage go from with the Clippers like 55 to like 36 when he was on Detroit this year, which is straight ass. And he's shooting about 30% from three, straight ass, averaging 12 points and about 9 boards. Now, is that somebody I'm worried is going to change the fucking game? Not so much. But we all know what we've seen from Blake, and when he's healthy and when he was in his prime, motherfucker was good as shit. So I figure we'll see two things. One, he's just going to kind of get in there. I heard he might even come off the bench, which would be kind of pathetic, I'm not going to lie. Pathetic is a bit strong. It's a bit sad, though. Like, what a sad story. And I'm only saying that because of the opposition, okay? So it's fuck you energy. Also, if there's any fucking Pistons fans watching this, I want to know what you guys think. Do you give a shit? How'd you guys feel about Blake? Were you excited when he came? Did you give a fuck that he got bought out? Was he pissing you off? Was he good? I genuinely want to know, because obviously I don't give a fuck about the Pistons, and I don't watch them, so I want to hear you guys' thoughts. But this is what we'll see from Blake, I think. We'll either see a rejuvenation where I don't think he's going to get back to Clippers Blake Griffin where he's fucking dunking on everybody, but it wouldn't totally shock me if the guy came and averaged around 15 and 10. I don't think that's with maybe shooting 45% from the field and 36-7 from three. I could see that, especially because there's not going to be a lot of attention on him because everyone's going to be guarding everybody else. So I could see how that goes. Or he'll just get injured and do nothing. Again, like I said, Blake Griffin is one of the most injury-prone players ever. He's even more injury-prone than Kyrie and KD. So, I mean, he's never even been able to make it to a finals. A lot of it because of injuries. So, I don't know. We'll see how Blake yields this year. Will I be happy for him if he wins? Absolutely not. I'm not happy for other people when it's at my team's expense. Fuck you. I want you to fail. I don't give a shit. And if you lose, I laugh. That's the kind of fan I am. I like to see you cry when you know what I mean? I'm that guy. It's not healthy, but it's a reality, and we're all living in that reality. So, moving on. And then we got Deandre Jordan, who seems to be a shell of himself. I don't really hear much about him. I feel like when Lob City days, he was on fucking ESPN every day. Now, you forget he's even in the fucking league. So, the guy clearly still doesn't have any real touch. All he does is just kind of pick and roll, and that's it. I think his defense has gotten worse. His rebounding seems to have gotten a little bit worse. like I said, doesn't really have much of an offensive game. So, I don't think he's much of a problem. And yeah, so that's the Nets. It seems like the Lakers are trying to get Drummond again. Fuck you. Stop making moves. That's all I gotta say. Everybody needs to fucking relax. Okay, it's ring season, Phoenix. Sit your ass down. Just stop trying, okay? Stop trying. It's not a good look. It's starting to get a little bit sad. That's all I got for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow after the game. Hopefully Booker's healthy. And that's it. Peace.